Welcome back. And my first guest is Steve Doyle from the Happy Jack Fund. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Supervisor, for having me.
So thanks so much for being my guest. And you know, the town's been working with your foundation, with the Happy Jack Fund, for a number of years. And Happy Jack Fund does some great work. And unfortunately, it's born of a tragedy. You know, and why don't we speak a little bit about that? Maybe you could talk just briefly about yourself and what led to the creation of the Happy Jack Fund.
Sure, I'd be happy to. My name is Steve Doyle. I grew up here in Clarkstown. Went to Clarkstown North. My wife grew up here as well. She went to Clarkstown South. Police officer in the city. My wife's an ER nurse, working at Englewood. The Happy Jack Fund was started after the creation, after the passing of my son Jack. In 2013, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor and quickly passed 3 days later. It was quick and sudden, and it took us by storm. In the wake of his passing, family, friends, everybody just came out and supported us. We wanted to take a bad situation and turn it into something good. Mm-hmm. So a couple of friends and my brothers suggested, why don't you start an annual scholarship? So what had started off as what I thought was going to be a couple $100 scholarship, people came out of the woodwork, the PBA, the local businesses, friends, family, and what had turned into a $500 scholarship now has turned into an annual $2,500 scholarship. And what we do is we award siblings who have, high school students who have lost siblings, merit-based scholarships. Mm-hmm. So these children have gone through, such a tragedy that we want to recognize, that they're even losing their brother or sister, they're able to continue on and go to a higher education and, make something of their lives.
So let's step back just a little bit. So it's obviously an unbelievable tragedy to lose a child. Unfortunately, in my own family, I've had two of my siblings have lost children. Mm-hmm. And if you're not from a family that's kind of experienced that, or a parent that's experienced that, it's something that can really destroy a person and their faith. Let's just talk a little bit about your son, though.
Okay.
Just give a little bit of characterization of who your son was.
John Thomas Doyle was born, and we nicknamed him Jack. Within the first couple weeks, his smile was just radiant, and he quickly adapted the name of Happy Jack. Every time you saw him, the only time the kid cried was when he was either hungry or, wet. Mm-hmm. Other than that, he was continuously happy. So the family and my wife and I, we quickly nicknamed him Happy Jack. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we only had 8.5 months with him. So, within that short 8.5 months, his personality just, beamed throughout the family.
Right. And you talked about some of the support and the outpouring that took place. And not to bring you totally back to that place, but how did that really kind of help you through the situation? And what does that tell you about the people around here?
So starting initially with, our immediate family, they didn't leave the hospital. It happened to coincide with the first day I was being sworn into the New York City Police Department. So between the department, me being a brand new member, my immediate family, our extended friends, we were in the hospital for a total of 4 days, and that was just, it was mind-boggling. People didn't leave our side. We wanted for nothing, and they just allowed us to spend as much time with Jack as possible. Then leaving the hospital and coming back here, and the community, the friends, when we started to create these events, I thought it would be a lot more difficult asking for support, and I found it incredibly easy, and a lot easier than I thought. So, as you alluded to, you wish this on nobody, but it's a lot easier for people who have actually experienced this to understand what you're going through, and I'm in awe of the support that we receive day in and day out. Mm-hmm.
And you had mentioned, support from the PBA. Our Clarkstown PBA does some wonderful things.
Yeah.
And has been extremely supportive of so many different folks within the community. Your situation with them kind of coming out and helping out is not dissimilar from a lot of other folks that unfortunately, folks that have lost children or what have you, the PBA has done some things to kind of support them as well. But so let's talk a little bit about Happy Jack Fund. So you put it together within the first year after your son passed?
Yeah, so, I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I had an idea, and then donations started coming in, financial support, which grew to I realized that something little was turning into something big. So I started researching on how to start a 501c3, and had an accountant firm, got incorporated, and then I put together a board of directors. And while that board of directors has changed over time, those guys really are the foundation of the Happy Jack. I have a lot of crazy ideas that I want to do to spread the word about my son, and they're the ones that really make it happen. So the Happy Jack, Jack passed on July 11th, 2013. We were officially incorporated September of 2013, and we had our first event on October 15th of 2013.
Wow.
So it happened very, very fast, and it's kind of snowballed since then, which is really good.
So how many events do you do per year, and how do people find out about them?
So our three main events, one is, and our first event is the Happy Jack 5K, which you guys have been supportive, and to bring in your police department as well. They have supported us from day one. Everybody here in the town has just done an amazing job. So our first event is the Happy Jack 5K family fun run. While it's called the 5K, we don't like to scare a lot of people off. It's open to everybody. If you want to come and push a stroller, it's held on or near Jack's birthday, which is October 16th, and it's just a fun day. It's held up at Drummond's Park. It's an out and back style race, and actually registration is open up right now on our website, which is www.happyjackfund.org. The next event is coming up actually in August, which is our annual fishing trip. We charter a boat out of the Jersey Shore. And it's not to scare off anybody. You don't need to be a seasoned angler to come out. If you just want to come out and try it, if you're a first time or a seasoned, you're more than welcome to come out. And you can also sign up on our website for that as well. And then our big event is held annually, usually around May or June, which is our awards presentation. This is a dinner. We just held our third annual right here at the Doubletree in Nanuet. And that night, while we present the scholarship, we kind of try and make it that night about the family or families. This year, we actually had to award 2 scholarships, and we really invite the family in, and we kind of, bring to light their child sibling that has passed. One of the biggest fears of a parent who has lost a sibling or a child is that they will be forgotten, and we really want to make that night to show that their child isn't forgotten.
And you award, what, $2,500 scholarship?
Yeah, so it varies from year to year depending on, the donations and the support received with sponsorship and everything like that. But the past 2 years, we've awarded $2,500 scholarships.
That's incredible.
Our ultimate goal would be to fund a child's college education. But, we're a small charity, we're growing. With the support of, the community, we're hopefully able to achieve that.
Right. And just give the contact information again.
Sure. So Steve Doyle, President, Happy Jack Fund. The website is www.happyjackfund.org. You can email us at info@happyjackfund.org. And then the phone number is 845-222-6282.
Great. And as you said, you have an event coming up down at the Jersey Shore. What part of the shore?
It's right out of Belmar, Belmar Marina. So we go out on a boat, and it's August 19th. It's a fun day. Every year this is the 11th annual trip. While the Happy Jack Fund has only been in existence for 5, this was a trip that was kind of, brought into the umbrella of the Happy Jack Fund. But 11 years, we've always had great weather, so it's a fun day.
Oh, that's good. And if folks are interested, they can get you at your email or your phone, or go onto the website as well. Steve, I want to commend you for doing this and starting this fund to keep your son's memory alive. From great tragedy can come, through great tragedy and perseverance can come positive things. And while the death of your son can never be changed, his memory will live on through your efforts and your wife's efforts and the people that are supporting you. And that kind of has a ripple effect, because what you're doing is helping out individuals that have also lost a sibling. It's very difficult to lose a sibling, as a child. It's one thing to lose a sibling if you're an adult, but it's an entirely different thing to lose a sibling as a child. And so to support those that have, lost a sibling, being a kid is supposed to be about being a kid. It's supposed to be dealing with these type of heavy issues. And so it's really commendable what you're doing. And there aren't too many groups that are doing that type of work. So I would really encourage all of our viewers to make sure that they support the Happy Jack Fund in any way that they possibly can. We're just about out of time, but I don't want to gloss over. So you're also a police officer?
I am, yep.
So you serve in New York City?
I do.
Where are you stationed? What do you do?
Lower Manhattan,
okay.
Transit District 2. So
okay.
I patrol the subways.
All right. And that's actually, we're in the summer of hell, according to the media.
It is, with the weather and, the crime that's evidently happening. But, day in and day out, I'm down there. And, while unfortunate events take place, overall, it's still a very safe place.
All right. Well, Steve, thank you again for being my guest. And thank you for your service as a police officer and putting yourself in harm's way to protect people. But more importantly, thank you for turning tragedy into something positive and doing something good for lots of people.
Appreciate it, Supervisor. Thanks again.
Coming up, U.S. veteran Calvin Lockwood.